Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Tune in to get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul glow. We already hit the top charts, so if you're really ready, let's go. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Furman Jackson be the host. NFC co-host. Coach Shay, co-host. Prime time, co-host. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact voice. Walk in his ways, impact. Walk in his ways. Tune in to get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul go. We already hit the top chart, so if you're really ready, let's go. Now wind it up, now wind it up, now wind it up. Don't stop till the time is up. Don't stop till the time is up. Now go wind it up, now wind it up. Go wind it up, go wind it up, go. Don't stop till the time is up. Go. Don't stop till the time is up. Go. Woo. Walk his ways, impact voice. Walk his ways, impact voice. Walk his ways, impact. Walk his ways. Tune in, get your mind right. Tune in and let your soul go. We already hit the top charts, so if you're really ready, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking the Ways Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcast live from the DFW area. This is, of course, Wednesday, which is the ninth day of November. We know that this year is going by fast. We know that a lot of great things are transpiring. We thank everybody for hanging out with us, tuning in with us, and most importantly, hanging out with us. I have very great guests of people that's on here with me tonight. Very excited, very innovative, very encouraging, very challenging, and most importantly, man, it's all about becoming a better version of yourself. It's all about you being who you want to be, who you destined to be, who you strive to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So I'm very excited about being back with y'all one more time here on Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I hope everybody got everything done, things to do, things set out to do. And most importantly, we standing. So I just want to thank everybody, man, for hanging out with me tonight. I also give a big shout out to those that we are live once again. So if you like, comment, get the hearts up, get the thumbs up, and everything else. Like I said, we're very excited about being back with y'all tonight. So I want my co-host to introduce himself on the left of me. So Daquan, D, go ahead and introduce yourself, man, to the audience here on Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast.
Yeah, how y'all doing this evening? My name is Daquan. I'm with Interest Communications. Happy to be here another night, another show, and let's grow.
And that's what it's all about, man. Go excited, man, by being here with you, hanging out with you. And like I said, we got very great guests here tonight with us, not hanging out with us tonight here on the podcast. I also have my boy David with me tonight as well. He's putting the work, grinding, of course. So go ahead, David, man, plug yourself in, man. Go ahead and do yourself, because I know you're a very productive young man. So go ahead and do yourself to the audience.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? It's your boy Dada, man. D-A-E-D-A-Y, man. That's two different days and two different ways, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a part of the HOE Hustle Over Everything brand. That's for all entrepreneurs, hustlers, whatever type of thing. If you got a kid, it's hustle over everything. If you got a wife, that's hustle over everything. If you got a dog, hustle over everything. So yeah, that's the whole movement we on.
And also that's what's up. And also my other guest tonight, she went to Africa this past, a couple days ago, and went to that experience, and she's gonna talk about that tonight. She got an upcoming documentary that she worked on with her ancestors. So I want her to go ahead and introduce herself to the audience as well. And thank you for taking time out of your productive schedule to hang out with us tonight here on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. So my name is Delisha Marshall. I'm really a quality engineer coming out of Baltimore, Maryland, but was born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, and have ties to Africa Town and the Clotilda. So excited to be here and tell you guys a little bit more about my story.
And awesome. And thank you once again, Delisha, for hanging out with us. Talk about your experience. I know you got an upcoming project coming up as well, so that's very exciting. So like I said, we're back here on the podcast tonight. I'm gonna get off with I know he's a singer out, heard me. Yes, he got out, HOE, hustle, everything. So Daddy, go ahead and talk about what you got going on, man. Introduce yourself. Audience wants to get what you got going on, man. So I know you done a lot of moves here
Yes,
in
sir.
the DFW area, man. So go ahead.
Well, this past Monday, I just dropped my very first single, man, Hurt Me, which is available on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to that right now. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be platinum in a little bit. I am under the HOE Hustle Over Everything movement. And like I said, that's for all the hustlers. We're not even hustlers necessarily, people with jobs. You know, people out here that's working every single day. The people that really got to get it out the mud type things like that. Got a lot of different things going on. This weekend, I will be in OKC with No Cap. If y'all don't know who No Cap is, he is signed the NBA game. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Trey. And then my other team will be on the same day this weekend on the 12th in Austin, Texas with the baby as well. You know, that we making some big moves for the brand. You know, the brand gets on, it makes it so much easier for my music to go on. So I'm a youngin'. I'm 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. I moved to Dallas in March. You know what I'm saying? And ever since I've been here, I've just been putting in work. I actually met Furman and my sister Say probably about 2-3 months ago. And ever since I met them, they've been like a big brother, a big sister to me, always just guiding me down the right path, always encouraging me, different things like that. So I'm just appreciative to meet them and, you know, keep everything else that I got going. A lot of drive. Got a little Texas social club as well. So that's where I'll be spending most of my time at. It's over 10,000 square feet. We have a nonprofit group working with, you know what I'm saying, nonprofit, feeding the homeless, different things, foods drives. We're going to be doing a toy drive for the little less unfortunate children. We got a village program through our Texas Social Club. So we actually be going up to Kimball High School working with some of the troubled youth, just showing them a different route. You know, you don't have to throw a football or shoot a basketball or throw a baseball to get a scholarship. We actually offer through our program full ride scholarships if you're good enough, you know, depending on what you could do like that. We are represented by the Village Congress of America. So I have important documents from the White House itself. So we got a lot of different things on our plate right now and just different amenities that we just continue to stand on and keep them growing. You know, God is good, so we'll give him all the glory every day.
That was good, man. That's a lot, man. It's good to see like the youth really doing that. That's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, man, just being around the right, you know, crowd. It has a lot to do with it. And environment has to do a lot with you know, what you can do. I'm not gonna say you can't make nothing from a small town, but it's harder. You know, it's more different type of people to branch out to and meet people. Like I've been meeting a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff around my age, so it just gives me extra motivation. If I'm like, if they can have that at their age and stuff, if I work hard and apply the same thing at 21, and by the time I'm 24, 23, I could be way steps ahead of other people at that age. So it's just about listening and just, you know, being humble in that manner. It's just, if somebody's telling you the right thing and guiding you down the right path, be humble and just listen. So I had to, it's pretty much what I'm doing right here. And God is opening up a lot of doors for me.
That's
A lot
good,
of doors.
man. That's definitely good. It's amazing to see how music, a music career springs off into so many other businesses. Your hands could get into everything because you meet so many people.
Oh yeah. Just with me dropping my song alone, I just had about 10 to 15 people just reach out on, hey, get features and different things like that. And before I started doing music, I didn't have none of that type of conversation, you know. So it's just like I've always been good at it, but it was just a matter of time to when I started recording myself and like putting time into it, you know. When you put time into something, then that's when you start seeing things that happen for you. And so that's all I've been doing since I've been in Dallas, just putting in work and just working hard. It says hustle over everything. I live by that. I wear this brand every single day because I live by it. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. We got hats.
I'm glad it's like that.
Everything. You good, brother?
And like I said, sorry about that. I'm bad. Technical difficulties on my end, so hopefully everybody can see me. But great things. Like I said, great things in store. Great things you're doing. You mentioned something today about mindset. How long did it take you to develop that mindset of making life happen for you? That's what we talk about here a lot on the show. Having that mindset to make things happen. Either you gonna settle for less or you want to settle for more. We know at the end of the day, we have the choice to make. So when do you get to that point where I want to make a life for myself?
Well, see, a few months like before March, I was working at Domino's, and you know, a lot of people when they're young, they set goals for themselves. And I thought I'm 21, so I'm sitting here before I even turned 21. I'm working at Domino's, and I had to look at myself in the mirror because I say I'm gonna work here 2-3 months just a quick come up because I had just moved to Texas. I was just trying to get something quick. Blase. That 3 months turned into 9, and I had to have a reality check with myself. And it's like, what are you doing with your life? Do you want to sit here and work every single day and work for somebody, or do you want to actually follow your dreams? So when I came to Dallas, my big cousin took me in, and not only is he a big cousin to me, he's a role model to me. He's a mentor. He's like a big brother to me. He's just been grooming me as a man, and it's helped me grow a lot individually as a person. Like I know I'm different from than I was 3 months ago. My mindset is different. Like I posted something on my story this morning. It's a mindset. I'm going to be successful because I want it more than everyone else. But see, I had to get around somebody that brought the best out of me, that's pushing me to be that better person that they see in me and that I saw in myself. Really.
So, man, that's because when you look at it's not to the point of selling, but gaining more, wanting more, getting out the comfort zone. That's what getting out the to make happen for your life. I believe we don't have to live a defeated life. We don't have to live a life that's stuck. That you can live a life that's meaningful. You can live a life on your, people say purpose, whatever. But most importantly, knowing where you're going in life, taking control, having discipline, and that's what it's all about.
My cousin has this great saying.
I know you do podcasts.
Everything.
Go ahead.
Well, he has this great saying. He says, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the only way you're gonna grow.
You're right. You got to. And you gotta put in that work. And you have to put in that work in order to be successful. I know you just released a single. What's the meaning behind that song?
Well, Hurt Me. It's just about being a real person and standing on it. You know, so many people claim to be real females or a real dude, or, you know, and then they don't even be really like that. You know, they expose themselves in the littlest manners. It could be hating or sneak dissing or anything like that. And so I just preach on being real. And it's called Why You Gotta Hurt Me, because sometimes people you really rock with don't really rock with you. How you know what I'm saying? So it can give a feeling of hurt. See, I'm real about it. It hurts. You know what I'm saying? When you trying to rock with somebody that doesn't have that same energy towards you. So that's about, just being a real individual. I have a line in there that says the closest ones to you, they be the ones trying to take from you. It could be family, it could be brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, anybody, church members. But so it's just about being a real person and standing on it. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to be a real one. How you ain't gonna stand on it? Don't claim you're real if you're not. You know what I'm saying? Stand on it and just be 100, 10 toes down. 10 toes.
Yeah, I definitely had a question to ask. you know, because I have a brother who also raps, and where do you find the greatest support system? Like, is it the closest, or do you find that it's everybody else?
Sometimes, honestly, I can honestly say the only person that really just believed in me for as a music thing from the very start, when I told him about it, was my mother and my cousin, my big cousin that I stay with now. My mom always pushes me. In my next song, I just shouted out my mom. I said, my mama told me chase my dreams, so I'm going all in. My mom always told me anything you want to be in life, son, you can do it. And a lot of times you just take the things that your parent tell you and it goes in one ear and out the other. But I experienced so much from like 14 to 20 that now that I'm 21, I'm like, I seen life and I seen like what it is. Either you can be what your parents was, or you can be more than them. I always say if you're not more than your parents was, you just wasted your life, honestly. So sometimes it be people that's not even your own family that will support you more. I honestly, and I really believe that because I experience it. People don't even be my own. Hate is real, and hate doesn't have no. It just because your family doesn't mean nothing, or just because you guys grew up together doesn't mean nothing. Some people you don't know will support you more than people you grew up with your whole entire life, and that could be from envy, jealousy, anything. And it's gonna be like they be like, well, why does David deserve that? Why does he get to do that and stuff like that? But it's like putting your mind in it and following your dream, and God will bless you. Staying in prayer, reading your Bible. God say He's gonna direct your path. So it's like when I got away from everybody back home, that's when I started elevating. That's just all honesty.
And that's amazing. And it's crazy it gotta be like that, because we would often think, hey, brother, sister, mother, family, auntie, uncle, hey, y'all got my best interest. But it's like until you on, that's when they come around and hey, we family, but they never
Yeah,
work through that process.
I'm experiencing a lot now. It's like, in all actuality, I'm not even where I picture myself at in the next 2 years. But it's like they see now that I've actually dropped the song and they see that the potential that's there. Now people from the past, friends, you know what I'm saying? This is how you know who really rock with you. If people don't tap in or just check in on you on the regular, they don't really rock with you. I don't really check in on people like that because I know the feeling's not mutual. Why am I gonna go out of my way to make check in on you when I know you wouldn't do the same for me? That's just how I operate now. So it's like treat others how you want to be treated, and the energy that's put out to me, I don't put that out to other people. But to those people that do it to me, I'd rather just stay distant and just keep focusing on me, because the devil will send people back into your life to just try to knock you off your path. And it could be anybody. So it's like that's why you stay in prayer, and you will know when the energy's off. Like I can look people in their eyes and feel their spirit and tell if their intentions are real behind me or not. So it's like, and my cousin knows that too. So he keeps me on point with a lot of different things. It's just I just don't have time. Like I said, when I was going through the hardest times of my life, I was really on my own. So it's like now that I'm coming up, which I'm not even up, I'm just on the increase. Now people want to start coming around, supporting me, checking in on me, which is cool, but I know it's fake. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. That's definitely true. Now that was good points, man. And it's good to be having that kind of mind young, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us are catching it, 35, 40, and we really could have used that information about
Mm-hmm.
being betrayed or nobody supporting you. And a lot of us had
Mm-hmm.
big dreams, just
Oh
we
yeah.
it's that support.
Yeah, I have. Let me just say this. I have so much talent in my family. My granny had 12 kids. My papa had 19. I could have had 5 aunts right now, famous R&B singers that sing like Whitney Houston, but they just have no support. Sometimes people only be looking for support, but my cousin, he keep me so on point. He'd be like, a lot of people are not going to support you, David. They're not. They're not. So be ready to do it on your own. So with that being like me having a mentor and somebody that's putting this stuff in my ear so I can pay attention to it, it makes it so much easier. So because now I know who really rocks with me. Like Big Brother Furman showed me nothing but love since I met him, came on the podcast with me, and just always encouraging me. We talk about God and stuff like that. So I know his intentions aren't bad with me. Now, if somebody was telling me like, hey, little bro, go sell this weed, or here, go do this or that, I know they're not for me. I know they're not for me. So I kind of I'm able to pick and choose through just little things, people's conversation and different things like that. I don't want to be around nobody that's not talking about nothing productive. I just don't. It's wasting time.
That's good. That's definitely a good point, man. And shout out to Brother Furman too, because it's the same thing for me. He gave me an opportunity, jump right on, and he make it easy for you, make it comfortable.
Yeah, of course. And they support me, and I rock with who rock with me. I show love to who show love to me. But as you can see, he got the whole shirt on. It's been nothing but love and support since the day I met him. So it's just like I got they back. I know they got, you know what I'm saying? I know they got mine. So it's just relationships like that. And my cousin says family is who you grow to love. Cain killed Abel in the Bible. So just because you immediate family doesn't mean nothing at all. Yeah, honestly, it feels like they feel like they can get away with it just because they're immediate family. They be like, oh, they're going to have to forgive me or something like that. No, I don't. Well, I forgive all, but that don't mean I have to rock with you. And just be in your presence. So
That's what's up. Hey, can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate it. I'm having technical difficulties on my end tonight, man. It's crazy. But man, I know I'm busy. I had a conversation about thank D for holding it down as well, man. But like I said, Daddy, man, you're doing great things. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I think you might have cut out again. But yeah, no, I'm proud of you too. I really like seeing that, the brothers younger than me really like, getting in the business, really accelerating this thing, and not just being, they may profession may be in rapping, but you'll find their hands in so many other things.
And I wouldn't even call myself a rapper though. I'm really a singer. I sing on a rap beat. That's what I do. I'm actually a vocalist for real. But I mean, I rap though for sure. But yeah,
that's
what I've been
good
doing.
because you can have a different sound and a lot of the same sound as right now.
I got a sound that will touch your soul, is what I say. The sound that touches your soul. And I honestly like to point to what you said. Like, I don't have no time to waste. I know my pop said he wasted a lot of his time. Different cousins that I listened to, they said they wasted a lot of time. So it's like what I was saying earlier, just when someone is telling you something and they've been through it, be humble and listen. That way you could save yourself from going through that same journey. I used to be a little hard-headed at times, but my dad put me on so much game as a youngin' that if I would have just listened, I would be steps ahead right now. But sometimes you got to go through that things, and God has to humble you as a person. You know what I'm saying? So now my whole mindset is different. I'm listening more than I'm talking. When it's somebody speaking on some knowledge or somebody older than me, like if it's some knowledge, I'm gonna listen and soak up as much game as I can and add it to my life. That way I could be steps ahead of people when they was at that age. That's all life is about.
And that's what's up right there, man. That's sensitive scores on my end, but it's some great stuff, man. Really, it is. And you know.
Cut out again, brother.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. So you got a show now?
Huh?
You got a show now or something?
No.
Oh.
I got my guy coming up here right now. He's OG3's brother. He's OG3's manager. And then you know what I'm saying, he's he like cousins with NBA YoungBoy and stuff like that. He's coming up here. I'm just building relationships with these guys, man. He said one thing. He's like, I like your spirit, man. So it's just like go around being, you know, a light to people and then leaving that impression on them. And then I always do it though. That's how I make friends. So yeah, he's on his way up here right now. But I'm gonna be at OKC this weekend. I might have some shows coming up soon though. Soon for sure. I will be on 97.9 The Beat next week though. Got an interview with him and stuff as well. So just doing stuff a lot of stuff behind the scenes though. But I just dropped my first song on Monday, so it's just fun though for me. It's just fun. It's fun.
And that's what's up right there. So man, you just keep doing what you're doing, of course. And like I said, we're about to grade, and I know we got another guest with us on here tonight as well. Delisha, she's actually from my hometown of Mobile, Alabama as well. And I know she's gonna be talking about her experience. She went to Africa. She got an upcoming documentary, and I know I want her to talk about that as well. I just love people that's doing great things in life. I love people that's doing something positive, doing something productive. You know, where you think about your legacy. So that's what it's all about. So Delisha going.
Uh-oh. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. I know he's having some technical difficulties, so I'll jump in here and try and help him out. But so like I said, my name is Delisha Marshall. I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama, and so I have ties to the Clotilda, which is the last slave ship that came to America from Africa. So right now there's a lot that's been going on surrounding Africatown and the Clotilda. So for those that don't know, I can give you a little bit of the background with that. So back in, I think it was 1859, 1860, there was a guy by the name of Timothy Mayer, who was a wealthy shipbuilder who one night made a bet with a couple of folks and decided that he was going to try to go to West Africa and bring back some slaves. So at this time, the slave trade, the international slave trade was illegal, although slavery was illegal. So he built a ship by the name of the Clotilda, outfitted it to look like it was going to be transporting lumber, but really it was to cover up this whole scheme. So the King of Dahomey, which is now current day Benin, put an ad in the newspaper saying that they were open for business to sell slaves. So Timothy Mayer sees this, recruits a couple of people. The ship captain was named, what's his name? Anyway, he had a ship captain that went over to Benin, West Africa, and purchased 125 people and brought back 110 of them to the Mobile, Alabama region. And from there, they were distributed through different areas. Some people ended up staying in Mobile. Some people went to Montgomery. Some people went to Selma. But a couple of them, I want to say about 30 or so, decided to stay and settle Africatown after they were freed in 1865. So after their emancipation, they banded together. They had a lot of things that they had to overcome. There were African Americans that were currently in the Mobile community, but because they were fresh from Africa, they had to band together to survive. So since that, they had to overcome language barriers. They had different religions. So they decided that they were going to go back to Timothy Mayer, who was their owner, and ask if he would get them back to Africa, and he flat out refused. So from there, they ended up getting jobs at like the state docks, or they worked on the railroad, or they did various things, but they pulled their money together and decided to start this community of Africatown. So my family is still there, or they were still there. We don't have anybody that currently lives in Africatown now, but it was the first settlement of Africans in the United States. So now the people who are currently there are facing a lot of issues. So now the community is surrounded by a lot of heavy industry. So there are newspaper mills, there's lumber yards. So the air is being polluted, the water is polluted. So it's really pushing people out of the area, and the people that remain, they are fighting things like different cancers. It's a very poor community. Now a lot of houses are run down, dilapidated. So it's really kind of a struggle for people in Africatown just to survive, based off of all of the racism that they faced, and all of the poisoning essentially of the people that are still left in the community.
Thank you. That was a lot of information, but
Right.
that's good to have a lot of that. If you don't find too many people that just have information, you know. But
Yeah.
I want to ask,
Mhm.
how was it being in Africa? Like, do it really feel different, so to say, spiritual, so to say?
Yeah, it's really hard to put into words. So that was actually my second time going to Benin, but first time I went to Africa, I had a layover in Kenya before I made it to Benin. But the feeling of just touching down on that African soil is, you can't even really put it into words. It's just like a feeling of being home. And then any place that I've gone to in Africa, which would only be Kenya and Benin, everybody is so welcoming. And there's also like a sense of relief of knowing that everyone looks like you. So you don't have like those little nuances like we do here in America. So if somebody does something against you, in the back of your mind, you're like, is this happening because I'm Black? Or, am I woman? Like, you're always kind of second guessing yourself here in America. Whereas if you're in Africa, if everybody looks like you, that kind of eases that feeling. But everybody was welcoming, everybody was so peaceful, everybody was happy to have us there. So it's you can't even put it into words. The best advice I can give anybody is, if you have the funds to do so, anywhere on the continent, like I don't even care where you go, just make your way to Africa at some point in your life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I actually wanted to go to Tanzania. It's a brother who I always follow his page, and he showed me, the nightclubs, just the life over there. But we always think it's poor. Everywhere has their poor parts, but it's life in these cities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that Benin, it is a poor country, but it kind of depends on your definition of poor. So if we're saying poor as in not having a lot of money, then yeah, sure. But they're very rich in spirit. So I'm like, the way that they live their lives is kind of the model I feel like we should be following. So they understand that, most people are farmers, so they grow their own food and they're able to survive off of what they are, growing. So anything that they grow is for the family and the community first, and anything that's excess, they take that to the market and they sell. But really rich in spirit, I feel like they're very focused on, family and taking care of the elders and making sure that the children are taken care of, and everybody kind of understands how we're all supposed to work together and operate. And then also, like, everybody's hustlers. So that's one thing, like, they are not lazy by any stretch of the imagination. Like, every morning at a certain time, like, you hear the roosters crowing at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like, all right, it's time to get up. We got to get it. So everybody's out. And then also they're very genius as far as, here we'll have to go to the supermarket to get food or whatever. And it's like, no, everybody's kind of out on the street. So anything you could think of, they got it. You need bananas, you need eggs, you need chickens. Like, most people get around on motorcycles or motorbikes. So, if you need a tire, it's somebody out there selling tires. if you need tools, like whatever you need, they have it. So as opposed to you having to go get it, they will come to you. So I was like, wow, that's genius of them to be able to do that. And then also, as far as them not being wealthy, you could be the poorest farmer ever, but the way that they dress, they look like royalty. Everybody looks so regal with the vibrant clothes and the different prints. And it's just amazing. Like, I have pictures that I would like to post, but because we're shooting this documentary, there's only so much that I could share. But yeah, there's a reason why they want you to think that Africa is poor. Like, they don't want you to see what it's really like over there. Because if you went over there and you saw it, you would be amazed at what you saw.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, man, I definitely agree that when you go to, even in the Caribbean, there's a sense of a community
Right.
that's really not here in America. And I definitely agree, as a people, we need to get back to that,
Yes.
get back to taking care of our elders, get back to, really raising the children as a community. But, I find everybody's too busy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a real American mindset. So here in America, we live to work, whereas over there they work to live. It's more of, okay, we're selling food or whatever, but it's all about making sure you have enough. And I feel like here in America, we're greedy, like we hoard everything as opposed to making sure that everybody's taken care of. It's all about me. I got to get it. I got to make sure I got to da 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 da. And it's like, that's not really how this is supposed to work. I mean, I get why we do what we do, just because America is set up a certain way. And like last night, we just had elections. So pay attention, because a lot of that really affects how you live, and a lot of the things that we're seeing, people are surprised. But I'm like, no, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, the system is doing exactly what the system was designed to do. So make sure you're paying attention. Like, if you didn't go out and vote, you have no right to make any kind of comments or complaints. So, if you want to make a change, that's how you make your change. Like, complaining is not going to get you anywhere. But yeah, it's just a different way of life over there. And it's a reason that they don't want you to see any of this. It's a reason why we were cut off from our language and our customs, because it was working for us. The way that we live life here in America, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, and they don't want you to see that, because that's very empowering.
Good stuff. Definitely. No, and I want to say this, because it's kind of new to me a little bit. You said it's called Africa Town.
African Sound, yes. So, and the reason why I'm doing all this, because I'm really shy. Like, so it's kind of difficult for me to talk in front of people, but to get the story out. So the reason why people know about Africa Sound, because again, there were a set of about 30 individuals from the Clotilda. We know that 110 came over from various locations around current day Benin, but they banded together as a way to survive. So again, they spoke different languages and they came from different ethnicities. So to give you more background on the story and my family and how this all ties in with me, I have an ancestor. His African name was Gumpa, but his American name was Peter Lee. So he was a member of the Dahomean royal family. So if you watch The Woman King, that kind of gives a glimpse of that history. So he was a member of that family. So in the movie, the king at the time is King Gezo. So at that time, the Dahomey Kingdom is at a crossroads of, do we continue with our part in the slave trade, or are we going to start looking at different ways of making money? So King Gezo, and again, all of this, it's it's a fictional story, but it's based in truth. So some of this is true. Like Ghetto was a real person. So at one point, Ghetto does sign, and this is actual history. Ghetto does sign a treaty saying that he's going to stop dealing with the slave trade. And then at some point he changes his mind and it resumes. So that's when the article comes out in the newspaper about, the homie is open for business to export slaves. So what happens around this time is Ghetto is assassinated. So then his son Glele comes into power. So Glele and my ancestor Gumpa are related. And we're trying to figure out how, but we do know that they were related in some kind of a way. So my ancestor, Gumpa, ended up making somebody mad and they throw him into the slave trade. Now he becomes a slave. The guy, Captain Foster. Captain Foster comes over from Mobile and picks out 125 people to take back. And my ancestor happens to be one of them. So I've heard the story. He was either given as a gift or Captain Foster picked him. But I believe he was given away in order for them to get rid of him. Like, we still don't know what exactly happened, but I get the feeling that he was a threat to someone. So for whatever reason, they wanted to get rid of him. Brought the 110 back. And again, they were split up. And the ones that were left in the Mobile area, they're working on the plantations for the Mayer family. And after emancipation, there's this guy, actually I have a picture, this guy. So his name is Cudjoe Lewis, and he's very famous. So now there's a book by Zora Neale Hurston called Barracoon. So this story is the story of Africatown and Cudjoe and the Clotilda in his own words. So after emancipation, they band together. They go back to Timothy Mayer, who was the guy that owned them, and say, hey, we want to go back to Africa. And he's just kind of like, good luck with that. I'm not helping you. So they get these jobs. And again, this is the African sense in them of, hey, we are a community, so we have to make this happen. So we're like, okay, we're going to raise the money on our own to go back to Africa. So after they realize that that's probably unlikely, they buy all of this land from Timothy Mayer and they develop Africatown, which is now called Plateau or Magazine Point, but at the time they called it Africatown. So they built a school, which is Mobile County Training School. They built a church, Union Missionary Baptist Church. So they're doing all of these things together. It's a thriving community. And at one point, I want to say there were about 10,000 residents in the area. And now there are less than 2,000, just based off of people taking the land from them, people selling it, people moving out of the community. The industry is very heavy. Like, you can smell the sulfur from the paper mill. So it's just not a desirable neighborhood that you want to live in.
Hey, I just caught the tail end. Sorry about that.
Nah.
Two colors on my end, but glad that they didn't keep going and stuff. Just hearing it, and I'm just jumping in. So that's very interesting to actually go back and find out your roots, find out where you originated from. That's awesome. And I know you went to Africa, of course.
Mhm.
And I know you was talking about that, I missed half of it, but from when you had that experience, how did that change your life forever? I know it did. Just to go to that culture and to just see a variety of things to now where you're in your life now.
So now it really changed my perspective on life and how I'm living life. And, some things that I've been doing is like, you gotta let that stuff go. So me personally, and this is a fault, I'm working on it. Thank you, God. But I can be petty. So it's kind of like the things that I'm petty about really in the grand scheme of things don't really matter. Like it's really changed the way that I've looked at life. Like us sitting here talking right now, we have electricity, we have running water, we have a roof over our heads, whereas a lot of the people over there, they have they might have houses made out of mud or clay and a straw roof, and they don't have electricity, or the community gets water, but it comes from a well. Um, so, just being grateful for things like that. Like everybody doesn't have a car. So most people get around on like motorbikes. So it's nothing for you to see an entire family of people, like daddy's driving, it's a baby between him and mama got a kid tied up on the back, and everybody's going to the market. So things like that. I've even seen people living on the beach in huts. But and we hear that and we're like, oh my God, those poor people. And it's like, no, they are happy, they are joyful. They don't feel like they are lacking anything because they're not. They so in that sense, they have even more than we do, because they're able to take what God has naturally given us and do what is supposed to be done with it. So that's really changed my mindset. And then also the fact of, I found a branch of my African family. I had the chance to have a conversation with them. So now that we talked, I have people's contact information, we send messages back and forth. And since I was able to go over there, now there are talks about bringing my family here in America back over there so we could have like one big family reunion. There are still a lot of questions that need to be answered, a lot of difficult conversations that need to be had, but at least this is the start of being able to do that and hopefully bringing about change. And also now that, because I've gotten some of this information, I'm hoping to bring back other people with me. So, if you guys want to roll over there and see what it's like and partake in the culture and eat the food and all of that kind of stuff, now I kind of feel like I'm an ambassador for this amazing country, and trying to like pull back the veil and show people like, no, this is what Africa is really like, and there's a reason why they don't want you to know this.
Interesting. It's very interesting, right there. Just the experience of just that whole new mindset, that just a new outlook on life. Like, wow, that is also awesome. And we know that media, television, it puts a negative light on them type of places. But when you went there yourself, it's a beautiful place. And like you said, compared to here in the States, we've been so conditioned, programmed to think a certain way, act a certain way. Like we get so programmed, we can't live without electronic devices, and we can't live without social media, but that kind of stuff don't even phase them at all compared to us. So that's an awesome thing to see that up close and personal, and just to learn your roots and just learn who you are, and just be able to spread that wealth of knowledge to us willing to listen for that. That's really big right there. So are you planning to go back soon, or how that's gonna be looking out?
Yeah, I mean, if I could, because like again, like I said, there's some stuff I can't talk about because the documentary isn't out, and then there's
Right.
also a couple of conversations that I need to have with my family as a whole as it pertains to our family, but got to experience so much. So then also a part that I want to say is that Benin is big into traditional African religions. So I got to see a little bit of Vodun culture, and we went to a couple of Yoruba villages, so I got to see Ifa. performed, which I practice Ifa. I still consider myself a Christian because I go to church, but I also practice Ifa in in an effort to connect to those roots and understand what my ancestors would have practiced, and to take the stigma out of it, because these traditional African religions get a very bad light in the Americas, and it's not at all the way that people portray it. So and that's something else that I hope people will explore more of as well, because they're more similar to Christianity, because Catholicism definitely, which is why the enslaved people were able to still practice these religions under the guise of Christianity and not get caught. So yeah, it's just a really beautiful culture. But to answer your question, I'm hoping that I can get back over there within the next year or two. I would like to take my family back no later than July of 2024. And that date is very important for us because the Clotilda arrived in the Mobile area, I believe it was July 8th. 1860. So I thought it would be cool for us to at least be over there around that same time that they left, as kind of a way to commemorate what happened, and just bring this full circle. Like, it's been 162 years. A lot of things are starting to come to light. So if people want to know more, there are books, like I just showed you two of them. So Barracoon, that was written by Zora Neale Hurston. That book was written in the 1930s, and it just got released in 2018. So there's Dreams of Africa in Alabama. Then also the Netflix documentary that just came out is called Descendant. So that's been really great. It talks about the history of the Clotilda in Africa Town and what the people are facing in the community today. So there are a lot of resources and information out there. If people want to know more, feel free to hit me up. I'm on Facebook. My name is Delisha Monique. I'm happy to share the story with anybody that's willing to listen, because that's what our ancestors wanted to do. They told the story to anyone that was willing to listen, in order to get the information out to the people and to let their loved ones in Africa know that they were still alive and trying to make it back home.
Awesome stuff right there, man. And that's what's up. Now, I call this the whole born again experience. I don't want to say experience, but being born again,
Yeah.
being re-taught all over again compared to the stuff that we was taught growing up. You know what I'm saying? You know, thankful for everything that we taught, but just to really just be born again on a whole nother level now, relearning a lot of things, being open-minded to a lot of stuff. Different avenues is opening up for us right now, and to so people to embrace that, embrace who you truly are, embrace your true nature. You know, you hear people always say, "Invent myself." I heard a slogan. I almost said a slogan, but I heard this the other day. Instead of reinventing yourself, learn yourself. How can you reinvent if you don't know who you are? So we have to learn ourselves more and more. So that's an awesome thing. I just wanted to just throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really true. It's kind of like what you were saying, we have to be reprogrammed, but in order to be reprogrammed, it's like, go back to your roots, like learn all of it. Like, they cut all of this off from us for a reason, because knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, that's very empowering, and that is very scary to a certain demographic of people. Because imagine if Africans all throughout the diaspora had the same experience that I had. Like, that's people's biggest fear.
Yeah. So embrace it. I tell everybody, man, embrace it. Learn who you are. Learn your identity. Everybody has, if you look at your hand, the prints in our hand, everybody has a different print. They let you know we're different. We're not the same. We're different. So it's like knowing your identity. You remember the movie The Great Debaters, when Denzel Washington? He said in The Great Debaters, he said they want to weaken you, make you strong physically, but they want to weaken you mentally. And that's a true statement there, because they want us to be dumbed down so bad that we become naive to a lot of stuff. And then when somebody brings information to us, it sounds more like, oh, that's not true, that's not real, you're all this other crazy stuff, but being open-minded to a lot of this stuff. And like I said, this is already November the 9th, 2022. Where we at now? You're asking about, are you where you want to be at, or are you still calling our emotions? January, from December 31st to January 1st. We get so excited. We all been there before, get our emotions, get so excited, get all pumped up, then we go right back to our reality. Don't want to be like that no more. Shouldn't want to be like that no more. But also, Delisha, that you that experience, learn, and now that is and that's big up that you're having a documentary coming out. So congratulations to you on that, and really gonna be really highly successful. That people can watch this and enjoy this and learn this, and give it all that foolishness also too. I don't know, social media and so, man, educate yourself. I said another thing too. It says self-education brings a fortune. So educate yourself. School's not really gonna teach you a lot of this stuff. Bad to say, church is not gonna really teach you a lot of stuff. But you have to learn this stuff. You have to get out there and learn this stuff. It's groups out there that's teaching a lot of this stuff. Go out there, plug in. I love reading. I'm a bookworm. I tell you that in a heartbeat. I highlight some stuff. Some stuff get to me, I'm gonna highlight, I'm gonna meditate on it and apply it to my life. But educate yourself. Education is key. And I know we're pressing for time on here tonight as well. And like I said, I know I had technical difficulties on my end, but I know D held it down. I was just watching it on my other phones. I was watching it. Great job to everybody. Kudos to everybody. Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep striving. And like I said, we're going to be back here next week. We got another show Tuesday and Wednesday. I implemented a Saturday show, so I will be doing a show on Saturday mornings. But it's going to kick off in January 2023. So it's all about going up and up and up. Most importantly, remember the graveyard. Everybody had one thing in common. They thought they were going to see tomorrow, and they didn't. So remember, let's live life like it's our last day. And remember, at the end of the day, get your favorite drink, your wine, whatever you drink before you go to bed. Toast yourself. Tell yourself, I love you. Tell yourself, I got your back. Tell yourself, we're going to achieve. Tell yourself, we're going to conquer. Tell yourself, we're going to win. Tell yourself, we're going to be successful. Tell yourself these things. Tell yourself, I'm wise. Tell yourself, I'm confident. Tell yourself, I'm bold. Tell yourself, I'm involving. Tell yourself these things. Speak these things over yourself. The Bible said, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Yeah, we've been speaking death far too long on ourselves. Get from I do into the I am. Get from why me. Get from out of that poor me. Get out why I didn't know. Take control of your life. I believe that. Take control of your life. Nothing cannot control you unless you allow it to. People cannot have access into your life and you allow them to. Circumstances, you name it. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what social media say, what people say. You take control of your life. Take control of your life. So, man, y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all next week here on the podcast. And before I go, Delisha, you have any final remarks you want to leave to the audience here tonight? Because this is going to go on our YouTube channel. Of course, we know people watching it right now, live stream. So do you have any final remarks that you want to leave on the audience?
Final remarks. So I will say that the most surprising thing that I found out from my trip over there is that they have a very different idea of slavery than people throughout the diaspora. To be honest with you, I don't even think they fully understand what happened to the Africans that left the continent. They're not teaching that in their schools, and there seems to be a sense of shame around that and not wanting to address it. So I'm hoping to continue those conversations, especially amongst my family, but with other Africans on the continent. But there needs to be a real conversation about slavery and the effects of it and how we are living on this side of the world as opposed to how they're living on that side of the world and what they think it means to be American. So more to come on that. I'm hoping you guys can have me back after the documentary comes out because it's going to be very informative. We shot a lot of footage, so I don't even know what all is going to be in it, but it's going to bring up a lot of emotions and questions. But again, if anybody wants to know more about my experience, feel free to hit me up. Again, I'm Delisha Monique on Facebook, on Instagram, I'm BrownShug6. So looking forward to having more discussion, and kudos to you guys for having the platform. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm a big fan. So looking to hear more from you guys, and we'll definitely be sharing this with all my friends and family. So thank you.
Oh, most definitely. Thank you as well. Also for hanging out. Take time out of your productive. Don't say busy. Take a time out of your productive schedule to talk your experience and your documentary. I'm excited for you. Kudos to you. I'm proud of it as well. And when you get them awards and stuff like that, don't forget other little people. You know what I'm saying? So, man, just keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. Remember, y'all have fun, man. Enjoy life. Life don't have to be sucked, man. Life could be beautiful. Man, make the best out of your life. Take time, man. Don't weigh yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Take advantage of the great stuff we have. God is truly blessing us. So y'all don't really see the blessing. I don't know where y'all gonna see the blessings at. Take this time out, man. Learn you. Learn you. Be you. But hey, we about to get to sign off. Remember, enjoy your night. You relax. Take it easy. Take a deep breath and relax. Life is what it could be. Don't let nobody tell you done good out of it. Life is what you make out of it. Educate yourself. So man, y'all have a great night. Gonna see y'all next week here in the podcast. So hold it down, everybody. Peace.